Okay, so we're diving into some pretty intense stuff today.
Yo, yeah.
Some seriously deep literary analysis on Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea.
You weren't kidding when you said deep dive, huh?
Definitely not. We got a whole stack of analyses from you guys, and we're not just going to like run through and summarize them.
Right.
The goal here is to kind of like wrestle with these ideas, pull out the really juicy bits, and help you understand, you know, why this story is still so powerful, even though on the surface it seems so simple.
Yeah,
Think of it as like we're all in this together, untangling this complex stuff,
exactly.
highlighting what really matters, and hopefully give you a whole new way to appreciate Hemingway's work.
All right. Sounds good.
Let's jump in.
Right.
So one of the first things that really hits you when you start digging into these analyses is this overwhelming sense of struggle.
Oh, absolutely.
Like one critic even goes as far as calling the whole novella a battlefield.
Wow.
And they're saying that it's in this space of like crazy pain and suffering that heroic deeds are possible, which is pretty intense imagery, you know, especially when you think about Hemingway's other work.
Yeah, it makes you think about how this idea of struggle plays out across his writing.
It does. And one of the things that I found really interesting was how different this is from that deep pessimism you get in some of his earlier novels.
Yeah.
Like The Sun Also Rises and A Farewell to Arms.
Right.
The analysis even specifically mentioned those two books. And it's like, in those stories, the struggles often feel kind of pointless, you know?
Yeah, like they just lead to disillusionment.
Exactly. But here with Santiago, even though he goes through hell, there's this clear note of affirmation.
It's a good point. What changes in this one? What makes this struggle meaningful in a way that the others maybe weren't?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think to answer that, we have to look at how the analysis talks about the universe itself.
Okay.
It's presented as fundamentally changeless,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with these like cyclical rhythms and predictable routines, especially in nature.
To see the creatures, yeah.
Exactly. They're all operating within these fixed laws. And what's super interesting is that there's like zero mention of traditional religion or superstition.
So it's a very secular existence then.
Totally. He's just existing in this natural world with no external frameworks to explain it all.
And within that world, he has this incredibly focused purpose to catch this marlin.
It's like his reason for being.
The analysis makes it clear this isn't just about catching a big fish to sell. It's tied to his very identity, his deepest sense of self.
It's like this pursuit is woven into the fabric of his soul.
Exactly.
And that leads us to the really fascinating and kind of messed up relationship between Santiago and the marlin.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
Right. The analysis points out that they're locked in this battle to the death, but there's no real hatred there.
It's more than just predator versus prey.
Way more. There's actually this deep affection and even admiration that Santiago develops for this creature.
He recognizes how magnificent and powerful it is.
He does. And there's this moment where he acknowledges he's about to kill something he respects, almost loves.
Yeah, I remember that line the analysis quoted. "Come on and kill me," he says to the marlin. "I do not care who kills who."
So powerful,
Mhm.
right? It speaks to this shared destiny. They have this almost equal footing they find themselves on.
And then the analysis also mentions this brief psychological struggle that Santiago goes through at the very end of the fight.
Oh yeah, that moment where his mental fortitude is really put to the test.
Exactly. And that brings us to this idea that seems completely contradictory at first.
Got it.
Harmony and brotherhood found within this whole life and death struggle.
So you're saying that in Hemingway's world, killing or being killed can create some sort of unity between living things.
It's like this bizarre connection that goes beyond just the basic predator-prey dynamic.
It suggests this deeper level of interconnectedness, right?
Right, where each creature is fulfilling its role within this grand natural order.
So all that stuff, the pursuit, the violence, the death, it's not just savage. It's part of this bigger picture, this kind of harsh harmony.
Exactly. There's this shared experience in this struggle, a feeling that goes beyond just being enemies.
And this is where the analysis gets even more interesting because it starts dividing everything into two categories.
Okay.
First, you have those who live by this internal harmony and integration.
Like the marlin.
Exactly. The marlin is the
Yeah.
perfect example. Strong, solitary hunting on its own terms.
And on the other side are the lesser ones.
The scavengers.
The sharks, yeah. Those creatures that don't have that same sense of purpose or nobility in their struggle.
And the analysis says this applies to people too.
The greater men versus everyone else.
Right. Those who embody resilience, skill, inner strength.
Like Santiago.
Exactly. And then the ordinary persons who maybe haven't been tested in the same way.
So Santiago's journey to catch this marlin, it pushes him far beyond anything he's used to,
Way beyond.
out into the open ocean, all alone, facing huge risks.
Risks that seem completely crazy when you consider how little he stands to gain financially.
Right. The analysis makes a really good point that the real reward for Santiago isn't the money, it's the experience itself.
The chance to prove himself, to achieve something truly great.
And he pays a massive price for that.
Fighting those sharks coming back with nothing but the skeleton.
But the experience changes him. It reaffirms his heroic spirit.
And it's so interesting to see how people react to that.
Manolin gets it.
He sees the true value of what Santiago accomplished, but those tourists, they're totally clueless.
And the analysis argues that this capacity for heroism, it doesn't fade with age or physical limitations.
So even when you're not as strong as you used to be, you can still be heroic.
Yeah, the world might not always offer these grand opportunities for heroism, but the potential is always there inside.
Like a pilot light.
Exactly. And Santiago, he embodies that continuous heroic spirit. His strength endures even when his body's exhausted.
And Manolin's unwavering support is proof of that.
It shows that Santiago's strength goes beyond just the physical.
The analysis makes it clear that Santiago is presented as this ultimate hero right from the beginning, even though he seems down on his luck.
Yeah, like the fact that he won that arm wrestling match against the champion, that's a sign of his inner strength.
Totally. And then you have Manolin, who believes in him no matter what.
And that comparison to baseball heroes like Joe DiMaggio.
Men who also faced struggles and kept going.
Right, and the 84 days without a catch that just emphasizes Santiago's relentless dedication.
Hemingway's descriptions of nature are also crucial to understanding Santiago's struggle.
They're not just pretty backdrops.
They're like active participants in the story.
The way he describes the sunrise, the vastness of the ocean, the behavior of the different sea creatures.
It's all so vivid, and Santiago is so attuned to those details, it shows his deep connection to this environment.
Nature becomes an extension of his own internal and external battles.
Exactly, and the analysis makes this point about the importance of being exact in Hemingway's world, meaning it's not enough to just have willpower. You have to have the skills, the knowledge, the technique.
Like a craftsman.
Yes. And Santiago is a master fisherman. He follows the rules. He's even willing to learn new things.
That dedication to his craft, it allows him to strive for excellence.
And that's a huge part of what makes him capable of achieving something so extraordinary.
It's a reminder that passion needs to be paired with expertise.
Absolutely. And then there's this idea of being furthermore, which takes it a step beyond just physical endurance.
Okay.
It's about cultivating this deep inner strength, a mental toughness that allows you to keep going when everything is telling you to quit.
Santiago's ability to push through pain, exhaustion, setbacks, it's incredible.
He's drawing on something deep inside himself.
And the analysis even compares him to modern-day figures who embody the same kind of resilience in the face of adversity.
It's like this ultimate test of the human spirit.
And even though the novella is full of hardship, the analysis argues that it ultimately presents the world as a meaningful place.
Not just random suffering.
Right? There are emotional rewards available to those who are willing to struggle.
The analysis points out that there's no bitterness in Santiago's suffering. Even though he comes back with just the skeleton, his spirit isn't broken.
It's not a nihilistic story. It affirms the value of the struggle itself.
And then there's this theme that runs through a lot of Hemingway's work, escaping from society into the natural world.
The sea is like a sanctuary.
A place for authentic experience.
Santiago's out there on the Gulf Stream, completely alone, confronting these fundamental aspects of life.
Survival perseverance. The interconnectedness of nature.
Stripped away from all this superficial stuff.
It's about getting back to basics.
Finding truth and meaning in the natural world.
So after going through all these analyses, we've uncovered a lot.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
We've seen how struggle can lead to affirmation.
The complex relationship between man and nature.
The incredible resilience of the human spirit.
The importance of skill and dedication.
And finding meaning in the midst of hardship.
This analysis really gives us a new appreciation for the old man and the sea.
It helps us understand why this seemingly simple story is so powerful. And on that note, think about your own life. What's your great marlin?
What are you striving for?
What kind of exactness do you need to achieve it?
And maybe more importantly, that inner strength, that ability to be furthermore.
What do you need to face your own deep sea adventures? Thanks for joining us on this niche hive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
See you next time.